country in your freshman season is really impressive for Max Stout.
On to the heavyweight now, where Connor Barket has been kind of the story for Duke so far this year. Named the ACC Wrestler of the Week a couple of weeks ago. And with a win tonight, he would be the first sophomore with 14 wins for Duke since Matt Finesilver and Caden Russell did it in the 2018-2019 season.
Two guys that used to room together. Yeah, Barket's had a nice year. He's been Duke's most consistent wrestler. It's another guy who's got to believe in his offense and get after it. He's got a nice underhook. He gets a nice job to getting to his singles and just finishing matches, which is what we saw last week against Virginia. Wrestling a complete 7 minutes. That's been the theme, another theme for Duke this evening.
Coach
Magin with a shot there. Barket clears it.
Coach Lanham really believes that Barket can be a national guy for this Duke team, and said that he did learn some valuable lessons in that Virginia matchup last week, a matchup that Barket was in for a majority of the match until late in that third period.
Yeah, he's a guy who could sneak in there, and that's what Coach Lanham talked about in trying to get his seeding for the ACC tournament, building in this last month of the season. Another word I've used a lot tonight is capable. He's a guy who absolutely could be there, and if you get there as a sophomore, that's something you can really build off of. We've seen that through a number of guys through the history of the sport, getting there, getting that feel, understanding what the process of going to nationals is like, and then making that impact and bringing that back to the room, bring that back to your young crew to say, hey, look, I put in this kind of work and I got here. Why can't any of you get, why can't we all be here? And that helps really grow a program.
Taking on Geoff Magin here, who's really the backup 197 for Pitt. The injuries forcing him into action here at heavyweight, but the phrase tough kid probably does not do him justice, considering he is a amateur UFC fighter.
Yeah, it seems like Geoff Magin is happy to step on the scale and put the old singlet on, the guy who's tough. And that's what Coach Gavin talked about. He's an MMA fighter. He's tough. He wants to get better in all these disciplines, and he's out here to wrestle really hard for the Panthers. And he's doing a nice job so far of limited Barket's offense and getting to his own. He's gotten to his own single. Nice snatch single by Barket.
Looking for the return here.
Goes head outside, goes back head inside. We'll see if he runs the pipe, and that's what he does. Magin goes gator bacon, ends up on his back, and Barket looking for a fall. He's got to suck back.
He got the 3. Duke asking for 4 points there, and the Blue Devils throw the challenge.
Throw the challenge. It seemed like they might have gotten back points there. We'll have to take another look at this.
So Glenn Lanham will come over and chat with the officials as they take a look. We will also take a couple of looks.
Barket gets to the single, goes running the pipe. Magin goes elevator here, so he gets that underhook. You see how he elevates his right leg there. Barket steps over it and has him on his back, and that's 3 there. And this is going to be close with the reaction time. Didn't look like the official counted. Going to get another look at this from a different angle. Barket runs the pipe there, sits Magin down, who goes elevator, elevates his right leg there to try to get Barket over, catches him right on his back. That's the 3-point takedown. We're going to see. This is going to be close to 2 backs. I think in real time, if the takedown is called at the right time, it's probably 2 backs. I think based on that video, though, based on what they're seeing, I think this call is actually going to stand. And it's going to be 3-0 Barket. That's my prediction. I'm wrong about these things all the time.
Thought we were getting closer to a decision. Does not appear so. Pitt has already captured the duel, but a chance for Barket to come away with a big win tonight as he continues his seeding for the ACC.
This has been a big area of controversy in wrestling. It's nice to have video review. You want to get these things right, especially at the highest level. But when they take a long time and they change the pace of a match, they give somebody a breather, especially at the national tournament where they can take forever. It can really impact momentum in a match, whether you believe in that or not.
Well, I am of the mindset that in all sports, replay is good, but if you can't tell in the first 90 seconds or 2 minutes, we should just continue on.
I'm with you. Yeah, we want to make sure to get the calls correct. And I think overall, completely agree with you, Chris. Replay has been a good thing for sports in general. But you certainly want to get back to the action. These guys are itching to get back to it, and want to kind of have that balance between getting the call correct but not changing the flow of the game too much. And there's Coach Lanham. Waiting.
Do you think he's pleased, obviously not with the score tonight, but with the way his club has competed this evening?
I think if you're, familiar with Duke, this has actually been a better performance. They've obviously been on the backside of the majority of these matches, but I think they've wrestled harder with more belief. More of their guys have gotten to positions where they can be successful and at least made guys work. Make people work, make people fight. And that was something Coach Lanham in our meeting talked about, getting back to that. Historically of Duke, you knew if you were coming into Durham, you were going to have to wrestle for 7 minutes hard to get your hand raised, and really getting back to that.
Call stands, by the way. We'll take one more look here, Ryan.
So he gets the elevator there. Barket catches him. There's the 3 there. 1, and it's close. You can't really see that back shoulder of Magin. So I don't blame them for sticking with this call. This is a huge ride here late in the period. Nice mat return.
Ryan, who does that delay favor? Anybody?
I think it probably helps Magin kind of recenter there. You went for the elevator. You went big. You got caught on your back. You got off your back. Take a big, deep breath. You're still in this match against a talented Duke wrestler like Connor Barket. You're back up 97. Refocus, recenter, get back to what had you having more success in the first 2.5 minutes. Barket starts on bottom, and he is right out.
Easy 4-0 lead now for Barket on the escape. The return to neutral.
And the crowd is popping for this. They're getting into this match. Magin with a shot. Barket's got to get his hips back. Slides his hips back. He's got his laces down. Magin keeps re-shotting into this. This is really nice from Magin, and Barket breaks the lock. That's good wrestling from the Pitt Panther, though. He's putting himself out there. He's competing, and that's what Coach Gavin will want to see as a guy who's filling in for his star heavyweight in Dayton Pitzer.
And into the scorer's table there. Dangerous play, so we go back to neutral.
Heavyweights love to find the table, it seems like, in wrestling. And back, and if you're the Duke corner, you want to see Barket start to use his size in this match. Wear on a guy who's smaller.
Barket, a guy who added about 20 pounds in the summer.
Yeah, stayed in the summer, was committed to really becoming a full heavyweight. As Duke had lost Jonah Niesenbaum, the NCAA qualifier last year, who really was another guy who developed through the program into a really talented wrestler. And now it's up to Barket to step into that role. And he gets to that underhook. Magin is really putting himself out there with a lot of these shots and creating action. Nice club from Barket to try to create some motion here. Nice snap. He's in a front head. Magin drags out. Barket to his underhook. He tries to throw it by. And about 15 seconds left in the period. A lot of action at heavyweight in this period.
The athleticism of both of these guys, certainly impressive.
Absolutely. Both moving well. And so we talked about Magin from Pitt, heavy underdog, but using his toughness background to try to keep himself in this match, as the MMA background and fighting through it. Really competitive match here at heavyweight.
Into the third period now. Does Magin have to look to attack early, down by 4 points in the third?
Yeah, and that's why I think that the coach and staff is telling him to take neutral rather than getting under Connor Barket. I think if you're Barket, you got to get your hands on him. Again, we talked about use your size. Quasi Bonsu's getting the crowd on pizza night here, fired up. That shot from Magin, way too space. Barket doesn't make him pay.
Oh, and a little what for at the end, too.
We're getting chippy here.
.90 seconds left.
Boot scoot. I think Magin looks tired here.
3 more for Barket, and that's what Glenn Lanham wanted to see. The point where Barket can just exhaust his opponent.
Yeah, and I think that's why they're saying get back on him, cut him, get your points. This is a bonus point opportunity for the young Blue Devil.
Would be his 14th win of the season. First Blue Devil in a few years to do that since Fine-Silver and Russell did it in 18-19.
Impressive guys. Matt Fine-Silver still wrestling, representing Israel. Was an excellent wrestler for the Blue Devils. And Caden Russell, one of the more explosive 197s you would see in a Duke singlet. Barket's got about 45 seconds to try to get this major decision. And Magin's the one who shoots. Nice reshot by Barket. Magin's down blocks, clears the grip. Nice shot by Barket. This is similar, thinking similar to the Virginia match. Stalling on Pitt, grabbing the edge of the mat. It's one of the oldest tricks in the wrestling book. Find the wood.
Back to neutral, 26 seconds to go, but man, what a nice job by Magin filling in tonight. I know he's going to, it appears he's going to get beat in the last 20 seconds, but certainly acquitted himself admirably this evening.
Absolutely, and you've got to be happy with that if you're the Pitt staff. This is a guy lost count of how many offensive shots he's taken, and he's the one looking to score late in this match as he's on the edge of giving up bonus points. And you've got to be thrilled with that effort against a young, talented Barket. Wins his 14th match of the year. But you got to feel confident in Magin filling in for you as a heavyweight moving forward.
So Pitt will win the dual. Blue Devils bookend at 125 in heavyweight with victories. Biggest takeaways for both these squads tonight for you?
For Pitt, they got to their offensive system. They scored with their underhooks. They got to their attacks. They dictated the matches that they needed to dictate. And for Duke, I think you wrestled with a lot better of intensity. You came out ready to wrestle and compete. You made them work for it. I know the scoreboard may not suggest that if you just look in the news clipping, but I thought this was a better performance from a Duke squad.